Well, you're supposed to wait. Wait.
May the Spirit enter into this room. May our hearts be filled with delight. May she ever surround and protect us. And may always her beauty be our side. Our love has grown into a home, and suddenly everything I've learned is a place it can start. And finally love has come and taken their place in our heart. This is our welcome. Open up and let it in. Feeling happening. Spirits awakening. Welcome to May your hearts be filled with thunder and joy. May your arms be filled with delight. May your heart be endlessly open as the moment of grace at the birth of a child. Love's gentle touch shows me so much, and suddenly everything I've learned is a place it can start. Finally, love is gone and taken the place in our heart. This is our welcome. Open up and let it in. Feeling happening. Spirits awakening. Welcome to our welcome. This is our
As an affirmation for peace in the Middle East, and in solidarity with our Muslim and Jewish brothers and sisters, all of us, people of the book, we greet one another. Assalamu alaikum. Peace be upon you. Shalom. So good morning. You can tell things are a little different here. I'm going to invite you to just hold on to this. Don't start writing on it yet, because there's going to be a guided meditation that, and then you'll be to take notes. And so just set that aside for a moment. And as most of you know, my name's Vicky Elder, and I'm right now the senior minister of Unity of Monterey Bay. We're moving very quickly towards co-ministry, and it's my joy and honor to welcome you to Unity of Monterey Bay, a beloved community co-created with love and intention that welcomes all people, all races, nationalities, cultures, and religions, whatever your immigration status, sexual orientation, gender identity, and or abilities. Whether you're here with us in person or joining us virtually, we know that love knows no boundaries. We are one in spirit. As a purpose-driven church, Unity of Monterey Bay is an inclusive spiritual community committed to co-creating an environmentally sustainable, spiritually fulfilling, socially just, and compassionate human presence on this planet. We celebrate our oneness, and we honor the God of each of our understanding. affirming the innate good and divine essence within each and every individual. Would you please join me in our statement of faith? There is only one presence and one power in the universe, God the good, expressing as infinite God beyond us, intimate God beside us, inner God being us, divine love in action. And now let's take this affirmation of truth even deeper into our hearts and minds with this prayer by Glenn Cardy. Blessed are those who seek the common ground, the common good, even when it's not their own, caring for those who don't care for them, caring for those who can't or won't be good. Blessed are those who've learned and give empathy without needing reciprocity, without needing recognition or reward. They emanate contentment like angels. Blessed are those tireless encouragers who see the best in the worst, who see the light in the crowd of our lives, who lead us, guidance, bring us home to our heart. Now please join me in affirming together, thank you, God, for this most amazing day. Miracle follows miracle, and wonders never cease. And in this spirit of miracles and wonders, we celebrate our children, those in our spiritual community, those in our families, those in the larger community, and all the children of the world, as well as that inner child that exists within each of us. We hold them all in our hearts, and we see them protected and resilient, creative and evolving, joyous and loved, as we join in our heartfelt blessing. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you just the way you are. This bright light of
to take a deep breath in and let it out with an audible sigh. Let's do that together. As we center ourselves to embrace this blissful inner connection with Spirit and invite the chime to call us into the sacred space within. We ring the chime 4 times to call in the 4 directions and to remind us of our interconnection with all of creation and with the sacred circle of life. As we feel it resonate through our very beings, we follow its call into this now present moment within. Focusing on our breath, with each inhale, we open our hearts and minds. We envision our breath reaching every cell of our being. And with each exhale, we see all barriers and obstacles dissolving into the divine flow. And again, as we inhale, we expand the spaciousness within us. We move beyond the limitations and boundaries of our bodies. And as we exhale, we ground ourselves deep within Mother Earth and into our oneness with the universe. Finally, we breathe our awareness into the highest expression of love, light, joy, and peace we can imagine, as we experience a transforming wave of gratitude. And with a fullness of heart, we say yes to it all. Embracing, claiming, and knowing the divine Christ Spirit expressing in, through, and as us. And with a final exhale, we say, thank you, God. So now fully centered and transformed by the power of Spirit, we enter into our lesson and meditation time with today's daily word.
We read from the April 6th Daily Word, shared with permission of Unity, publisher of Daily Word, that can also be found at dailyword.com. And the word is discover. I invite you to allow my words to be your words. My life is rich as I discover the world around me and the world within me. Exploring the world around me, I can discover something new every day. The world is full of diversity and wonder, and I delight in its beauty. I can also discover new things about myself as I explore the world within me. I am a divine being, richly endowed with spiritual gifts. I am joyful, prosperous, loving, and imaginative. These qualities and so many more are mine to use to direct and shape my life. As I live more and more confidently from my divine nature, I discover God anew. The one presence and power in the universe is not just with me. God is within me, expressing uniquely as me. And from Scripture, I pray that you may have the power to know the love of Christ that surpasses love, surpasses knowledge, so that you may be filled with all the fullness of God.
It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, by and by. It's in every one of us to be free. Find yourself, open your eyes and see. We can all learn everything without ever knowing how. It's in every one of us, here and now. We can all have everything without ever knowing how. It's in every one of us, here and now.
In witness to the wisdom of the many paths to the sacred, we read from 3 sacred traditions on this morning's topic, purpose-driven. From Buddhism, everyone has a desire but the desire to transform oneself, to transform one's affliction, suffering, in order to get free and help other people and change the world is a good desire. From Sufism, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. From Christianity, we know that all things work together for the good of those who love God, who are called according to his purpose.
Home is where the heart is, where peace and love abide. A place for all seasons that beckons us inside. This fellowship of believers is a home and family, a source of light that shines so bright just for you and me. Welcome home to this family, created by love and joy. It doesn't matter where you've been, in your coming we rejoice. We behold the Christ in you, with arms stretched open wide. Welcome home to this family. Welcome home. Welcome home to this family, created by love and choice. It doesn't matter where you've been, if you're coming we rejoice. We behold the Christ in you, with arms stretched open wide. Welcome home to this family. Welcome home. Welcome home to this family. Welcome home.
So as you can tell this morning, we're going to shift things around a bit and create a space for a more interactive lesson and discovery process, why we chose the daily word that way, to collectively explore the future of our beloved community, Unity of Monterey Bay. I'm going to first start with a brief foundation, looking at the importance of church in general for a healthy society, and then define the concepts of purpose, mission, vision, and values as they relate to our own future. Michelle will then lead us in the middle of this lesson in a meditation, inviting us all to listen for the guidance of Spirit regarding what UMB is called to be and do, to specifically, what is our sacred purpose, our sacred mission, our sacred vision, and our sacred values. And she will invite you to be jotting down words, ideas, and images that come to you through this process on that slip that you got when you came in. And we will be asking you, following that visioning process, when the Leadership Council comes up and begins to present the summary of the discussions. We were meeting yesterday all day about this, and so they're going to talk about the discussions that we had and invite you to give feedback. So that piece of paper that you've written images and such down would be a good place you can look to. And they're going to be addressing just our sacred purpose and mission, because that's how far we got in our discussion. So we're also going to be asking you to turn in those slips if you're willing. You don't have to, but we would like to collect them so that as we continue this work, we'll also have the input. We're going to be writing it on a flip chart as you share, but also we could collect that so we can use that as we continue in this process, which is definitely a work in progress and a primary focus for our 2024 Leadership Council. So we're going to be working on this throughout the year, and we'll be bringing more of our process to the community, sometimes on a Sunday lesson like this. Other times we may do a calling of the circle after church and have discussions there that can be even more interactive. So we're going to continue to invite your feedback, and hopefully by the end of this year we'll come up with a collective agreement about the future of where UMB is going. Now, this doesn't mean it may not change from what we've been talking about before, but it's important, especially after COVID and all the things that have gone on, that the Leadership Council revisits this to be sure we're still on track with what we feel called to do and be. So now this framework that I talked about. Due to the times we're in, I'm always looking, as is Michelle, for insights about the future of church. We've all read about how church attendance is going down and how churches are closing, and we're always looking for believing, not just because we want our community to continue, which we do, but believing that there's an important role for church in society. One of my go-to resources is a weekly newsletter I get from the Alban Institute at Duke Divinity School. It offers articles and studies and books and just an incredible number of resources on everything relating to church in the 21st century. As I noted in the e-blast message, I was drawn to a particular book highlighted in a July 2023 newsletter that focused on changing the church's agenda. And the book is entitled Countercultural, Subversive Resistance and the Neighborhood Congregation. The author, Gil Rendell, makes compelling arguments about the importance of the institutional church in a healthy society, which aligns with our COPA perspective about how we need healthy institutions to balance the power of the economy and the power of government. We need institutions that help us create our values and our culture and such to balance those other factors. And in our country right now, not only our country, those things are getting kind of out of whack. As most of us have noticed, churches are on the decline, service clubs are on the decline. A lot of the organizations and institutions that have worked to hold our values and teach our values and model our values are on the decline as we become more and more individual focused in our society. Rendell suggests that as important as churches are, that it's time that we re-examine, rethink our agenda. Specifically, he notes that the church of post-World War II has largely tried to fit into the larger social, political, and economic culture as a means to grow and thrive. In essence, to adjust and adapt to the social cultural desires. An example of that is the popular prosperity gospel focus on getting more stuff. Now, that isn't a message that Jesus teaches. That's a message that spoke to our nation and where we are about consumerism and collecting things. And so they attract lots of people into churches by teaching prosperity gospel that God wants us to have all this stuff. And you could question whether that's really the message that Jesus was about, right? So they're doing this, and many churches have done it, including Unity. I mean, because we want to exist, and so we try find. You change the music, you change the way the service does, and some of those things are fine. Some of those things help people hear the message because it puts it into a language and into a structure that calls them. But in too many cases, we also sort of adjust our message to not offend anybody, to not challenge anybody, and to make everybody feel real comfortable. Well, what you know in our church is we always talk about we afflict the comfortable and comfort the afflicted. So if you came here to feel just comfortable, this probably isn't the place for you, because we challenge ourselves and one another into how we can more fully follow the teachings of our way shower. So what Rendell is saying is that churches need to come back to the calling of our Judeo-Christian teachings and our way shower Jesus that are clearly countercultural. Jesus didn't walk in the crowds and teach about, oh, you're all so wonderful and everything's wonderful and we can all just party. He was joyous, but he also challenged folks when they were, and the society and the structures that weren't holding the spirit of the law. And so Rendell is saying that we're also called to be that alternative and more challenging messenger that calls people to be in service to the greater good, and to seek and offer new paradigms through which we can imagine a new way of life and ultimately a new world. For example, one of the visions that Unity has held for many years is to envision a world that works for all. We had a long discussion about that in our meeting yesterday, and the reality is we're saying if we can't even imagine that, there's no way to create it. And there's too many voices that just say, well, that just will never happen. You know, there's always going to be the poor, and there's always going to be this, and there's always going to be the rich and the powerful. And so we don't even attempt to vision a world that works for all, meaning all people, all animals, our planet, the water, the trees, everything. So that's a good challenge to try and envision what would it look like if we lived in a world that worked for all. Rendell also introduces the concept of usufruct. Don't try and say that fast. It's a Latin word. We laughed a lot about it in the meeting yesterday. The Latin word used in Roman property law to describe ancient and indigenous land use paradigms in which land is held in common while individuals retain the right to hunt, fish, garden, or otherwise use the land sustainably, meaning without changing the character or the value of the land, such that it remains available to future generations. Rendell applies this concept of usufruct to the church institutions, calling to promote obedience to the unenforceable. See, the land produces fruit. It was olive trees and such in ancient Rome. Then the fruit of the land were the olive trees that take years to start producing, but then produce for centuries, so longer than any individual lives. And so it was about that. The product of church and institutions are values and structure for a society. So our institutions' purpose is to promote obedience to the unenforceable. In essence, to go beyond what is legal to do what's right. Think about that. The enforceable, we have all kinds of laws. But what we're losing in our society is that calling to do what's right. That calling to focus on the greater good rather than just on ourselves and such. And that's what we're being called to. He says, usufruct is what institutions and churches do. They hold essential values received from the past that constrain or direct us in good and healthy ways, encourage the use of those values in the present, and extend those values into the future. If we lose our institutions, that's what we lose. That power to extend our values, that, values like we're all Americans. Remember when we used to be able to disagree about how we got to what we wanted to get to, but we trusted that everybody loved our country. We're getting more and more tribalized now, and we need our institutions to bring us back to that idea of oneness and of generosity and of service. That's the framework that we discussed at the beginning, and from that, our leadership council began to look at the specific calling of Unity of Monterey Bay as we seek to discern, John, this is the next slide, our purpose, meaning why do we exist, and what is our sacred calling? Our mission, meaning what is it that we do and for whom in service to our purpose that makes us unique? Our vision, meaning if we are successful in fulfilling our purpose and mission, what is the best outcome we can imagine or vision and hold to? And finally, our values, meaning what are our core principles that define our standards of behavior and culture? So how this is going to work is Michelle's going to come up, as I explained, and she's going to lead us in a visioning meditation. So you can all have your papers and pens ready. It's going to be sort of like the burning bowl, where she'll pause after asking some questions, and you just listen for ideas or images that come up and jot them down, and then she'll move on to the next sections. And as I said earlier, this is a work in progress, and what we're ready to engage with you today is the purpose and mission, which after the meditation, the council is going to come up and do their presentation about our experience yesterday and invite your feedback. So get ready for meditation.
I follow my vision, I follow it home. I follow my vision, I follow it through. I change, I grow, I make myself new, and I follow my vision, I follow it through. I follow my vision, I follow it through. I follow my vision, I follow it through. I change, I grow, I make myself new, and I follow my vision, I follow it through. So, as we prepare ourselves to move into a time of meditation, just getting comfortable in your seat and adopting a position that you can maintain for a few moments, and beginning to bring your focus from all of the outer distractions, bringing that focus inward. And it can help us to focus inwardly, to bring our awareness into the body, sensing where the body is in space, feeling the places that our body meets the support beneath us, our feet resting on the floor, allowing your hands to rest gently in your lap, allowing your shoulders to relax, your jaw to unclench, and just settle in to this present moment. And we know that in this present moment, God is here. God is always present, but it is our awareness that is lacking. And so we become aware of that presence of Spirit, feeling it moving through us, between us, with us, among us. And we invite that presence of Spirit in to be front and center in the work that we will do today. We affirm that this church is a Spirit-led ministry. We allow Spirit to guide us in all things, allowing the ego to gently step aside and our higher selves to come forth, giving us that higher vision, that higher consciousness. And know that Spirit is always led by love. And so we know that we are always guided by that love of Spirit. So I invite you to take a deep breath in now. Hold it for just a moment and exhale slowly, allowing your shoulders to drop. Take another deep breath in and then sigh it out. Just becoming more and more present, allowing your attention to rest gently on your breath. And now beginning to bring your attention to your heart space. And then beginning to imagine that you're breathing into the heart as if there were a little hole and you had a straw and you could just breathe into the heart space. If it helps, you can place a hand over your heart to support your awareness of this space. As you continue breathing in to the heart and breathing out through the heart. Knowing that as we do this, we are activating that heart intelligence. We're bringing the heart into alignment with the mind so that everything we do and imagine and plan is coming from this heart space, from a place of deep alignment between heart and mind. Just continue breathing in and out of that heart space, feeling that heart energy and that heart intelligence being quickened in you. That spiritual wisdom, that knowing, that deep understanding of spirit. And now that we are centered in the present moment, centered in our heart space, fully aligned with the love of spirit, we begin to ask these questions, beginning with the first one. And if you want, you can jot things down while I'm talking, but I'll give you a little bit of time after each question. If something comes to you, you can jot it down. What is our purpose for Unity of Monterey Bay? What is our reason for being? Why do we exist? Who have we come here to be? Who are we being called to be? What higher purpose are we being called to step into? Try to just let the ideas come and not allow your mind to judge them. Right now, just jot down whatever comes to you. Sometimes we get insights that don't make sense in the moment, but they make sense to us later. And we're allowing that free movement of spirit so that we can hear that still small voice. What is our purpose? Why does Unity of Monterey Bay exist? And so now that we've explored the question of why we exist, we move into our mission. What is our mission to do here? What is unique about Unity of Monterey Bay? What are we being called to do, both within these walls and without, in our larger community, in our neighborhood, in our world? In service to our purpose, what is our mission? And again, just letting those ideas flow freely and jotting down whatever comes to you without thinking too much about it or judging it. What is it that we do here at Unity of Monterey Bay? Now moving into the next question of what are our core principles here? What are our values? What are those things that define our standards of behavior and our culture? How is it that we want to show up? What values do we want to embody? What matters most to us? What values and behaviors are we being called to step into? And now moving into our final question. What is our vision for Unity of Monterey Bay? Considering our purpose of why we are here and our mission of what we are here to do and our values of how we want to show up, how will the world be changed by what we do here? What will the world look like as a result of our existence? And here I want you to allow Spirit to speak through you and go big. What is your highest and biggest, most expansive, most joyful, most wonderful vision for Unity of Monterey Bay? Knowing that Spirit knows no limits. We allow the highest vision to take shape in our mind of the impact that we want to have on the world, the transformation that we want to see in ourselves and in our world. unity of Monterey Bay is a divine idea in the mind of God. What is your highest vision for our community? And so knowing that after doing this exercise, ideas may continue to come to you throughout the day, throughout the week, and you can continue to jot these things down. Now just bringing our attention back once again to our heart space. To that center of our being that connects each and every one of us. That calls us higher and higher, to higher standards of behavior, to higher visions of what is possible. And so we give thanks for the guidance of our own heart. We give thanks for the guidance of Spirit. We give thanks for the new and wonderful ideas that we know have been generated today and will continue to come in the hours and days to come. We are thankful for the existence of this community, for all that we do in our own lives, in the world, for how we are transformed by it. And so with our hearts filled with gratitude, beginning to return to this time and place, just saying thank you, thank you, thank you. I follow my vision, I follow it through. I follow my vision, I follow it through. I change, I grow, I make myself new. And I follow my vision, I follow it through. I follow my vision, I follow it through. I follow my vision, I follow it through. I change, I grow, I make myself new. And I follow my vision, I follow it through. And so now we're going to invite, you can turn the lights back on, we're going to invite the members of the council that are going to be presenting today to come and tell us about what we did yesterday.
Walter, come over here. No, the other move over one more. Because you guys are doing pretty good. Yep. Okay. And then you can switch. We're trying to figure out how we're doing it. Okay. And, yeah.
Okay. Hi, everybody. So Walter and I are just going to share our experience of working with the idea of what is our purpose here in Monterey. And I'm going to see what's up there.
It's a picture of this.
Okay, good.
So people can really see it.
So we went through the same visioning, the same meditation that are similar, very similar that what Michelle just did. And a couple of other things that Vicky did was she read a quote, what somebody had about perhaps what the purpose of churches was, and it was to seek and offer a new paradigm. Seek and offer a new paradigm, a new way of visioning a world that could be. And that kind of broke us open to looking at perhaps what our purpose is. And I just want to say we haven't come to any conclusion about what our purpose is yet. But it was a very, and we've already have one. So, but some ideas like, so what's our purpose? To inspire, to awaken in us, again, an idea of life. You know, we always have a life as it is, but what could life be? All right, there's always a tension between how life is and how we want it to be. So what is our purpose towards that, what we want it to be? And we thought we want to be open. We want to be our purpose is to be open and to honor all life. All life. Four-legged, you know, the fins, the winged ones, the trees, all of life. Would you like to continue with the thought? So we did this brainstorming.
Good morning. So I've been sitting back there kind of weaving my version of what took place yesterday. The two concepts, one is mission and one is purpose. I saw my mission as a member of this church to serve God, earth, and its people, according to the teachings of unity. I mentioned the 12 banners that we have on our wall. Okay, sorry about that. There are 12 banners on our walls, and I felt that those 12 banners are pillars, or they are threads that we use in our sewing machine to create this experience. I think also that the way we conduct ourselves, according to additional 5 principles, and the way, using myself as an example, you have made me more vulnerable. Okay? I'm not weak, but simply more accessible, available to receive from you and give back to you. My mission. Talking about purpose? Okay. Did I skip? I skipped, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'd like us to take those 12 principles that we have up there and create a carpet that everybody can come to this church and worship, okay? And bow and give service and give thanks. That's how I see it, okay?
So based on, all of what you've heard, what do you see as our purpose? Coming from your own guidance. Yeah, no right answers, just yes. Debbie. To provide a safe place where spirit can unfold and expand. So a safe place to come and explore, yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Larry? A safe and supportive place. For our growth. Anybody else? Paul, Linda? Our purpose to show God's love in the world. Share community centered in spirit. That's why we're doing it. Share community centered in spirit. Okay. Jasana? Our purpose to give spiritual guidance as to how to live a more fuller life. Spiritual guidance as to how to live a more fuller life. Just what came up for me just today, for me, is to live in the faith that there is only one power that is for our highest good, always there. There's only one power. To be that example, that one. To invite all people to know God's love. That is always for our highest good. It's always creating and working for our highest good. No matter what we do. Anybody else? Yes. to share the message of openness and acceptance, or just openness. You said, I think, to share the message beyond our walls, out in the public. Dogma-free zone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. Okay. Okay. You got one more? Maybe connection, acceptance, openness. Yep. So perhaps part of our purpose is teaching and classes available to people, different time, places. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I think now we'll go to mission. Want to move down? This cord only goes so far.
Okay, we wanted to talk about the mission, our mission here at Unity. My take on it from yesterday was our mission is love in action, divine love in action, or better, to help all people know love by being love in action. So by demonstrating what we've learned here, what we walk out from the church after every Sunday service with this divine love that we are reminded about, not reminded, but we want to demonstrate this to all those around us. And as we go into our work and go back home and go to our jobs from Monday to Friday, or my case, Monday to Saturday, sometimes. Anyway, to help all people know love by being love in action. You want to add something? Or a lot?
No, little. That word job is just bothering me these days. I just feel like I just want to have some balance in my life. Some fun things and stuff. But I wrote for mission, help people heal, and like some of you already said, provide a safe place for all of us to explore. And I feel like I'm called to help others reach their highest good. We also support people on their God journey. And it's just about, not having anything in the way. I just want to read something from for purpose. I'm called without cloudiness to be and move in the world gracefully to my highest good. You know, the cloudiness is all the stuff that gets in the way of what you really want to do. You know, you have to go to work, and so I just feel like I miss Vicky's dog. You know, I do miss Toby. Toby, and I think that you know, we're called to have the love that a dog has for its master. You know, no matter what happens, you know, that dog loves me, and I'm not really a dog person, but this one I'm connected to, and I feel bad that that I work and that I don't take the time. So, yeah, it's about choosing the things in life that bring us joy, and finding time to do it. And so.
Have you seen that thing of to aspire to be the person my dog thinks I am?
Yeah, that kind of says it. So I'll go with that.
Not what my cat thinks I am.
I wanted to add something here, kind of like what I was saying earlier. To be service to the world and to create community. So we want to be service to the world, be service to our community by demonstrating divine love. So, yeah. And do I have any questions from the, or suggestions, not questions, but suggestions from the congregation? What's our mission? Of our mission. Excuse me. Woohoo!
Can I make it? I love him. Kiss back to you. You know, he sings. He sings. He sings. Have you heard him sing? Yes. So I'm filming, okay? I'm filming, and he's right behind me, and I'm saying, "Who's singing like that?" It's him. I call him the singer. Okay? He is quite a boy. That's the way he demonstrates love in action. That he comes up here, or he does it back there behind me. Okay? That's the way I know his love in action. conversation, I don't know, if alters, transform how they converse with each other and how they will converse with us. I would like to hear a conversation between them and us. Just like
So
you did.
are you willing
just like
to
you-
reach out to one of the black
That
churches
lady
and set
that
that up?
came here last week, I would like to go to her church.
Well, she's not involved in a black church. She's in religious science and unity.
But that doesn't matter to me. She was taking your place and her place here. And I was wondering, can I go see how she does that there?
Absolutely. We have information about
Okay?
religious
So I said to myself, I'm going to visit that lady because I think she said that they have a congregation of 12 people and they meet in a unity church, I believe, right? So a religious science is meeting in our church. Her background is religious.
Yeah, but they have a unity church and a unity minister.
Is she?
She is a religious science practitioner
Hey,
who
that's
speaks
good.
one
That's
Sunday a
good.
month.
That's good. We should have a smorgasbord.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah, yeah,
Running
just
their
like
own
a
time.
smorgasbord.
I think Paul Lynn had a question or a statement.
Oh, I was just going to say that one of the things that strikes me every Sunday is when either Michelle or Vicky say that wherever you are in your spiritual journey, you're welcome here. So I think that welcoming everyone is a big part of that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, yeah.
That says a lot. Yeah.
And the word today is affirming, also that actually speaks to the LGBTQ community, recognizing that they're not just tolerated, they're affirmed
Open and
here,
affirming.
open and affirming.
So we need to wrap this
Yeah.
up.
Yes, we
Thank you
do.
all so much for all your input and keep it coming, you
Yes.
know? And are we going to collect those?
If you're willing to turn in your slips, please would.
And if you have more ideas and
Put
want
them in the
to,
basket.
Put 'em in the
We'll give you
basket.
offering.
At
if
the
you want
office.
to take it home and add more ideas that you didn't have time to put down and bring it back, that's great too.
And we'll at least, we don't know how quickly, but we'll be doing this again, probably in a, only in the circle after, but, thank you.
All right.
So, you can leave the chair, we'll take it right now, so we can
So
finish
Larry,
your
we're
service.
ready for the offering.
Thank you, everybody.
We say it all the time, but I work with a lot of churches that there's a lot of struggle with the leadership council, and I just want to once again thank all the people. Many of you sitting here have served on our leadership council, and it's always been a joy and a collaboration, and so we are so blessed with folks that step up and take that role that is just doing what we all do, all as owners of this church, but they take it on at a little higher level for a period of time, and then as some move on, then someone else steps into that. So just thank the folks that serve on our leadership council for the work that they do. Thank you.
I'd like to say also just one thing, that we always say that it's an inside job. It's an inside job. And I feel really good with that, because what's inside comes out, and what's inside makes us sort of. Unity of Monterey Bay is a collective consciousness of commitment of all of us who give of our time, treasure, and talent in order to sustain this spiritual community that is dedicated to transforming lives. We know that prosperity is a state of mind that finds blessings in every situation and abundance in joyous generosity. We transform all appearances of fear, lack, or fear or lack into faith-filled peace of mind by shifting our attention to thoughts of gratitude for the abundance of God's good in our lives. As the ushers come forward, I invite you to think of something specific you're grateful for in this moment. And now, with our hearts and minds overflowing with gratitude, we breathe into the divine flow of God's good, trusting that we are enough, that we have enough, and that there always is enough to both have and share. For those of you who give online through our website, have set up monthly auto payments from your bank, or give by credit card, we are grateful. We ask that you join us in faith and gratitude as we pass the offering baskets this morning by holding and blessing the basket as it passes to you. And now, please join me in our offertory blessing. I am an open channel for God's infinite good. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies everything I give and everything I receive. I am both blessed and a blessing. Thank you, God.
This is who we are, and we feel the love whenever we're together. This is why we're here, to serve the world and one another. We're being called to find a higher way, and to remember why we're here today, to love, serve, and remember, love, serve, and remember, love, serve, and remember who we are. It's where we grow, and we find the truth that always sets us free. And this is where we play and enjoy like-minded company. A place where we can share our joy and pain. A place where everybody knows your name. As we love, serve, and remember, love, serve, and remember, love, serve, and remember who we are. And in remembering to love and serve, we're transforming lives that transform the world. As we love, serve, and remember, love, serve, and remember, love, serve, and remember who we are.
Serve and remember, love, serve and remember, love, serve and remember who we are, and remember who we are, and remember who we are.
So if the ushers will please come forward. It is with great joy that we bless and give thanks for these gifts and offerings that demonstrate our collective commitment to the spiritual work of love and transformation in our lives and in our world. We dedicate this offering, our lives, and this ministry to more fully expressing the Christ light that is the truth of our being and inviting all people to know God's love. Finally, knowing that one with God, all things are possible, we affirm together that the good is now, the rest is blessed, and the best is yet to be in our lifetime. Gently. Thank you. For our music today, we want to thank Richard Medici, Richard Burdick, Jay Blackwelder, David Pomeranz, and Kenny Loggins, as well as our awesome music team, our combo. We have David and Richard Conklin here today with us on the drums, and of course Devin, our awesome guitarist, and our whole music team, and everyone who sings and participates. So for announcements, check your e-blast. But to let you know, Brent Oaks' Celebration of Life will be held here on Saturday, April 27th at 1 p.m., so that's 2 weeks from yesterday, and all are welcome to attend. Our highway cleanup is going to be next weekend. On Saturday, they're meeting at 9, and on Sunday after the service. If you're interested in participating in highway cleanup, talk to either Larry or, well, Larry, because Robin's not here today.
And think about your being love in action when you're out there
Right.
doing that.
And our spring dinner fling signups are opening up now, so you can sign up to host an event. As always, you choose the date, you choose the theme, the time, you know, what the menu is going to be, and how many folks, and the ticket price. You choose everything, right? And this is an opportunity for us to gather in one another's homes and get to know each other better and raise a little money for the church. So if you're interested in doing that, you can sign up in the sacred grounds. As we bring our service to a close this morning, we are so grateful that you've joined us, and we're grateful that you were patient with us. We went a little over today, but I think we did some really good work. So I appreciate you all hanging in there. And whether it's your first time or you're a regular, we hope we've made you feel at home in our Unity of Monterey Bay community. And like we always say, wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. Our chaplain on duty today is Mr. Larry Sanks, who is available to pray with you after the service. So thank you, Larry, and thank you to all our prayer chaplains. With that, let's form our closing circle for our prayer for protection and our peace song. Ooh, your hands are cold. So just allowing our hearts to be filled with gratitude for this big circle that almost doesn't even have room to close. So grateful. And just grateful for the work that we did here today and the ideas that were generated, and knowing that we have started a process that will continue. I know that the ideas will continue coming, and we want you to share those with us, knowing that we are creating a more expansive, more transformative community, and it's always calling us to a higher and higher vision of what's possible, new ways to reach people, new ways to love and support one another, and to reach out to others, and to care for and love our planet. And so we are grateful. Please join me in our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am love. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace